Hey ladies and gents, we are back with Avorion, and we are looking at ship designing and the Avorion workshop. Now, most of you have seen most of my ships, or a lot of my ships here. I tend to be a little bit unrefined. Maybe that's the word for it. I like angular shapes and all that kind of stuff. And I usually get just the look I want, and I don't really go in. I mean, if you really take a hard look at some of my ships, there'll be things like this stuff sticking out the side, or there's these fins going through the engines, right? There's just little things that I just don't care. I don't get worked up. If I don't get the design. I like the general outlook of the ship. I don't really zoom in and really, obviously this is one of my own designs here. However, there is a place if you don't really want to design, and this is for the new guys. I know there's a lot of guys out here that have played this game for a long time, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. There's some new players or players that are just starting out, or maybe they played for a while and they didn't know about this. But what it's called is the Avorion Workshop. It's on Steam where you buy the game. You can access it either by just going to the Steam and going to the Avorion and going to the workshop that way, or you can actually access it directly from Save Designs. And this what here is called Browse Workshop. What we're going to do is jump in, and there's the Browse Workshop, and we're going into the Steam community for Avorion. Now here's what it is. So we got, actually we'll do the ship one here, type of build, and it'll give me so these are player created ships, right? And then they're uploaded to the Steam Workshop, and you have the chance, if you want to use them, or you subscribe to whoever created the ship. For example, the Kira class here. I like the look of that ship. I'm just going to simply subscribe to it, right? Now that I'm subscribed to it, and we'll exit out of this. It should here, if we refresh it, show up here. And what I'm talking about by here is workshop ship design. So these are my own designs right here, blah, 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 right? Everything I got, everything I've built. And here's the workshop ship designs. So, there she is. She just popped up. And she's kind of expensive. 1 million trinium and whatever for Xanian. So, like I said, my ship designs tend to be, I don't really care about exactly how things look. However, there is a bunch of these guys out here that design pretty badass starships. And if you're looking for something you don't feel comfortable, that you're not building something that you don't like the look of, you can go to the workshop and pick up some of these designs. And we'll just jump out of this guy, and we'll jump into a drone, and we'll found a ship here. We'll make an alliance. I do believe that was the SS Akira, and we'll found the ship, right? Okay, and then we're going to go to the builds and the save designs, and there he is, and we'll use the design and bring it up here. So this is actually a pretty decent sized ship. 1 million hull, 1 million shields, and of course by the time you put the stuff on it, if you want to paint it and all that stuff, it's got for fighters here, it has a little bit for torpedoes, some production. Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything. 6,497 blocks. This guy spent some time when they built these ships. Utterly beautiful, right? It's way cleaner than I would ever do. But there is a ton of these. And he's almost as big as mine. And of course, the ship actually turns quite well for its size. But we're just going to take a real quick gander here. I've downloaded a bunch of them and actually built them. Up here we have the Voyager from Star Trek Voyager. Very nice, clean design. We have an Asgard ship from Stargate. That's one of the motherships. We have, what else do we have here? Oh, my favorites. Not that one. Here we go. We have Space Battleship Yamato, right, from the anime series. Oh yes, and this one I do believe is made out of neonite. Yes, quite quite a nice job of modeling these ships. I mean, look how smooth and clean everything is. Somebody spent a lot of time doing it. I do believe I have one other one. I think that's one of a really popular one. Oh, and I did get one of my personal favorites, Planet Express ship. Pretty sweet. And of course we have, what else we have? I think that's the Dauntless, or Daedalus, I'm sorry. Another Stargate ship. Lots of Star Treks, a lot of movie inspired, and then there's a lot of just regular, their own creations. So go in there, check it out. You can pick up some of these really cool starships from movies, television series, and whatnot here. And one of my personal favorites right there is this one is extremely well detailed. It just needs turrets to really finish this off. And of course, you cannot have a spaceship without having something from Star Wars. So where are you, Batty? There he is. An Imperial cruiser, right? And with an Imperial cruiser, we're going to need. There is a ton of fighter designs. Speaking of which, oops, we have a TIE fighter. Yes, somebody spent the time to build a very cool TIE fighter. So you can take that, turn it into an actual fighter, because it's. I'm sorry, we won't be able to. 2178. You might have to glue a bunch of these blocks together or make it one piece to be able to turn into a actual fighter. There's probably some in there. I do believe I did see a starfighter, or a couple of those. There's another Star Trek or Star Wars ship. Yep. Is that I don't think that's the Hammerhead Corvette. Could possibly, if I remember correctly. And one of my favorites. Where are you at? This guy that did this fighter, and we call it, of course, the Skywalker. What a beautiful X-wing fighter! And I do believe this one is built to be. Oh, sorry, blocks again at 3,636. But you can combine the blocks together and make it one, and you should be able to turn that into a fighter. But look how, like I said, very nice, clean designs compared to what I did. I've only did a little bit of upgrades to it for like the energy and all that kind of stuff. Had to change a little bit of it to make it work, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, go in, check out the Avorion workshop. And if you want to pick up some of these designs, because like I said, they're just ridiculous. These guys have spent hundreds, possibly thousands of hours on a lot of these. This was, I think this is the Voyager that was taken over by the Borg. Somebody's really thinking out of the box. And that's what's the great thing about this game is that, it's kind of up to your imagination, I guess, or what you have for your imagination. But yeah, they spent a little bit of time doing that. Absolutely beautiful. So with that said, guys, go check out the Avorion workshop. Download a couple of these ships if you really, really want to get into the whole Star Trek thing, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. Kind of cool that you're able to fly around in the Avorion space with some of these really beautiful ships. So with that said, guys, have a good night.